guys, it is Mary.
And Amma.
And today we are back with another review of 90 Day Fiance the Other Way, you all. And today we are going to be talking about Manon and her husband, you all. This time around, we forgot to talk about them in the other episode of Mary and Amma. But in this episode, Manon was sitting down and she was talking to her husband. Basically, they were out there renting a car, and she decided to let him know that, hey, she has this business idea where she wants to basically do fragrances and aromatherapy while using or authentic materials from the south of France, and she wants to kind of use
Okay.
that for her new business. And she said she just wants to do the prep work and work on it and pitch it to investors. She did make
Okay.
that clear because she wanted to at least let him know it's not going to be a financial burden, because he was asking about that. She said she's just doing the prep work to see if it works. And she said, she's going to make a deal that she's not going to put the business before her family. She's going to be there for her son, because she said she does love the fact that she is more connected with him and all this stuff, and that she really
Mm-hmm.
wants to just, really create a life for them. But she said that if the business does not work out, she's not going to worry about it, and she will put the family first, which I thought was a little contradictory, because first she said she
Mm-hmm.
was not going to let this get in the way of her family, and then she was like, "Oh, if this doesn't work out or pan out, um, I will put the family first, or whatever the case may be." But I just
Yeah.
feel like with Manon, I feel like it's okay. I think she should have a business. I don't think it's okay for her to be
Yeah.
out here um living with your parents when you have a child and just living off of them, basically. And I don't think she wants to do that either. Especially coming from
Exactly.
LA, having her own home and all these things and stuff, and now she's living with her
Mhm.
parents. I'm sure at I feel like when you are a certain age, you kind of feel like ashamed if you're living with your parents. And I feel like she is at that
Yeah.
age. So I feel like
Yeah.
she wants to make it work and make it happen. But I do think that it's
Mm-hmm.
important for her to, be realistic. Like, it's okay. You can balance. I do believe that it is very possible to balance family and work and not
Yeah.
feel guilty. But like, don't put so much pressure on yourself to try to be like perfect or whatever. Like, yes, I know you came out here to be a better mom. I feel like that's going to happen anyway, because you don't have your life in
Yeah.
LA. It's a lot slower pace. You're not doing all the things you used to be doing. And you're in close quarters with your husband and your baby. So I feel like she's going to be fine regardless. But
Yeah.
I think she's trying to reassure the husband. But she did state that with him, he feels
Well,
like
he also puts pressure. It's very subtle, but he does it.
yeah,
Like making her feel inadequate.
right,
Like kind of rubbing that in a little bit, you know? And
right.
and and I feel that like he does it. It might be subconscious, but I don't know. I think he does it because he himself feels inadequate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm sure he feels a little bit inadequate because, traditionally the man would be out there working or whatever the case may be. He's not doing that. He
Mhm.
is at home. Not that there's nothing wrong with a man being at home or whatever the case may be, but I'm sure he wishes that he has some type of autonomy, which we did talk about this when we talked about 90 Day Fiance and with Darcy and Georgie, where we had talked about having separate accounts and then having a joint account with your spouse or partner. But it is important
Yeah,
to you, when you get married, you still do all the things that you love to do. You know what I'm saying? At
yeah,
least make time for it on a daily basis. Like, still make time for
mhm,
doing things that make you feel alive, things that make you feel empowered or make you feel good about yourself. And I feel like,
yeah,
I feel like he does cling on to the dad thing because he does feel really good as a dad. He does thrive there. But I do think that outside of being a parent, he needs to find something that also makes him thrive. Because I do feel like in some places he does feel inadequate, and I'm sure because his wife is like this boss woman who's working hard and doing all these things and stuff. I'm sure he's like,
mhm,
what am I doing? I'm just the dad, which is nothing, no small feat, because there are men out there who don't even give a crap about being a father. So I commend him for
yeah,
being a good dad, because that is very important. But he should also find things that he's passionate about and make some time to do that, because there's nothing wrong with doing
yeah.
that.
It's very good to have something outside of your children because at some point they're
Get
gonna
up
go
and
on
leave.
with their life. And and then also, you're not, hopefully he wouldn't be one of those parents who's like, living vicariously through his child, or then you put pressure on the child because they're going on with their lives and you don't have a life outside of them. Then that's an issue, but the baby is still young.
Yeah,
um yeah, he probably may need some kind of therapy honest,
agreed.
to learn how to navigate having, obviously he doesn't, there's something missing that he feels. So just to give it some kind of context, go and talk to somebody.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm
She
sure.
also needs to talk to someone with her whole weight situation. She needs to talk to someone for sure too.
Right. Um, I do think it's important that they both do talk to somebody, but I just feel like with him, it's probably hard for him to see his woman going after his dream. Like there are some people, there are some men who their dream is simply is to be a father, and to be a
Yeah,
husband and all that stuff. And that's great. I mean, that's what's one of my husband's dreams was to be a father and a husband. Like that's all he really that's what he cares about the most. But
yeah,
also they look inside because my spouse, he does want to be a husband and a father, which he already is, a soon to be father. But he also has his dreams that he has outside of being a husband and a father, and I feel like he doesn't have that Manal's husband, and I think it's important for him to
yeah,
find what that is. But I feel like they both have eternal
yeah.
issues that they need to work on so that it doesn't manifest, and
Mhm.
so that he's not watching and clocking her, and then she's also not feeling so horrible
That's,
about being a bad mom.
that's how it feels. It feels like he's watching and clocking her. That is how it feels.
Yes, it does.
But
Yeah.
you guys get in the comments and tell us what you think. Is it time? I think his name is, what's his name? Anthony?
Yeah,
What
I
is
believe
this
it's
man's
Anthony.
name? Um, what do you think? Do you think that he needs to find something outside of Manon and the baby? He had said that he was going to find a job, but first he has to learn the language first.
Right,
Hopefully, he will register for some classes, meeting people outside of the home while he's learning French. Maybe then he can have his own, group of friends that he hangs out with,
right,
and also to give himself a break from the baby. That's very important, especially if you're that spouse that takes care of the kids. You're the primary caregiver for the child. It's very good for you to have a break from the child, from the home.
right. Absolutely.
So he needs to get on that. Like find a class outside the home. Don't do any online stuff. Find a class outside the home. Go meet people, meet for coffee or tea, whatever it is, or some, I know the French have like these really incredible croissants. Like meet for that.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. But yes, you guys, comment down below and let us know what you guys think of this episode of 90 Day Fiance, and we will see you guys on the next video.
Bye.
Bye.